Hello peeps, welcome back to Sundays with Sparky. I am Matt Sparks, your host, and today we're going to be talking about what we always talk about on Sundays with Sparky. Video games and movies, mainly. Yeah, that's pretty much all we're going to talk about. So let's start off with games and stuff, shall we? What did we have this week? We had the last of the Van Helsing videos that I've made. Probably not going to bother making any more. I think I already stated that last week. Yeah. Wasn't quite what I was hoping for. I was a bit disappointed. Not my cup of tea. That's my cup of tea. Van Helsing was not my cup of tea. Which was a shame, because I really hoped that it would be, but, you know, never mind. We also had... I'm just checking. We also had part 3 of The Wolf Among Us, which there will also be some more out next week. And I really enjoyed playing through that. I've recorded everything now, like the whole thing has been recorded. Because it's only... like you could probably play through it in about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Because it's quite short. Because they're doing it episodically. Is that the right word? I'm not really sure. I think that's the right word. But yeah, they're releasing it in chunks rather than doing like one huge thing all in one go. A bit like they did with Walking Dead. Well, not a bit like. It's exactly like they did with Walking Dead. Which I've never played. But is apparently quite good. I think I would probably prefer Wolf Among Us over The Walking Dead, though. I find that the characters are a bit more... well, you kind of know their backstory already, just because they're like fairy tale characters. So you kind of know their backstory already and some of the history that they have with the other characters. Whereas The Walking Dead, if you've not seen any of the TV show, like I haven't, although everyone will probably go, oh my god, you haven't seen The Walking Dead, you really need to see The Walking Dead. I don't know why they'd be talking like that, but you know, I'm sure someone probably talks like that. Yeah, but I haven't seen it, because there was a phase where I was like, yeah, I love zombie stuff, zombie movies, yeah, it's great. And then after a while I was like, oh, more zombie stuff, I'm kind of fed up with zombie stuff now. Which is probably why I haven't bothered with Walking Dead. But apparently it's very good, so maybe I should watch it, but not in the foreseeable future. And we had another Big Deck Player. I love that name. I think it's so funny. I just want to get that, like a gif of Tom Cruise in Tropic Thunder as Les Grossman, just dancing around every time I say it. But I'd probably get like caught for copyright or something, so just pretend that that's what's happening. Which, as it stands at the moment, the latest one, which was the low-cost Warlock Rush, currently sitting on 307 views already, which only went up on Friday. That's pretty impressive. Over the moon about the success that these videos have been having. If we go back, let me just go back. The very first one is just short of 1,500 views, which is astounding. And thank you so much for anyone that's watched it, thumbed it up, shared it, you know, anything. If you left a comment on it, all that stuff. Thank you so much. And as a result, we've gained some more subscribers this week, which is fantastic. So if you're new to my channel, thank you very much for joining us. I hope that you stick around and continue to enjoy the stuff that I'm producing. And thank you again for subscribing. Tell your friends. Come to me. Oh, that sounded a bit wrong, didn't it? Or was it just me? It's probably just me. But no, it probably does sound... oh, okay. Let's skip over that, shall we? So yes, so I've been playing some more Hearthstone, as you would probably guess without even having to guess. Been trying out some more custom decks. I'm finding it. The problem is now I've got into Masters on the old Hearthstone. I've got into Masters, and everything is suddenly like the difficulty has stepped up quite a bit from Diamond to Masters. Although saying that, when I hit 3-star Diamond, that's probably when the difficulty kind of ramped up, and there was like quite a big difference in the players that I was coming across in 3-star Diamond and the players that I was coming across in 2-star Diamond. 2-star Diamond, I could pretty much be watching stuff on YouTube whilst playing Hearthstone at the same time and still win. If I try and do that now that I'm in Masters, I'll just get owned most of the time. Yeah. So that's not great. But yeah, so I've got into Masters. I'm 1-star Masters now, which I was like, hooray, finally. It took me ages, just because I kept losing, because I was trying out these decks that I didn't really know how they worked. So yeah, I found, I've got, as you can see, I've got quite a few decks on there. I've still got a couple on there that I've already recorded. And the other ones I'm just trying to get used to how they work before I make a big deck player video, because I don't want to go into it not really knowing how it works, because that would just be a bit silly. So there will be some more big deck player coming very soon. I haven't recorded anything yet, but I shall have been so busy over this weekend with stuff that I won't go into, because it's boring, but it needed doing. So everyone has chores and stuff that they have to do, and it's just takes up lots of time, and then you go, oh, I don't actually have any time to do this stuff now. And that's pretty much what's happened most of this week and weekend. I was going to do tons of stuff today, and I ended up just pulling up carpet instead. So, but what can you do? It's stuff that I need doing, so yeah, it has to be done. Anyway, so there will be some more big deck player coming. The super secret project that you may or may not know about from last week that I spoke about, it has been recorded but is still not been edited yet. Still got to put that together. I'm hoping I can get that done maybe tomorrow, hopefully, possibly today, we'll see. I don't know when that's going to be going up though. You'll just have to wait and see. And I need a third game, and because Hearthstone is one. I mean, I could put out some like arena stuff, but it seems like everyone does arena videos, and it's not that. I used to watch. Sorry, excuse me. I used to watch a lot of arena videos, and I still do occasionally, but I generally find that I'm a bit bored of the arena videos now. So I'm like, why would I make arena videos? These videos are probably going to get a ton more views than any of my arena videos will. So I might as well just carry on making the big deck player. So that's what I'm going to carry on doing for the time being. And we'll see. Maybe I'll do an arena or two in the future. But as it stands, I'm just going to channel my energies, as far as Hearthstone is concerned, into big deck player. Yes, what I wanted to speak to you about was Battlefield 4. Now, I've heard mixed things about Battlefield 4. Some people say that it's possibly the best first-person shooter they've ever played, and some people say it's not actually that much different from Battlefield 3. And I can't decide. I think I'm probably going to try it out. Probably. I didn't get a chance to play in the beta to test it out for myself. I quite enjoyed Battlefield 3 the first time. I think I would prefer it more if I have people to play with than if I'm just going to go lone wolfing it. But, I mean, I love Hearthstone. I love playing that. But sometimes you just want to shoot people in the face. Matt Sparks, 2013. Sometimes you just want to shoot people in the face. Yes. And sometimes you do. I mean, I used to play Borderlands 2, as you probably, if you've been with subscribed to my channel for a while, you'll probably know I used to play a ton of Borderlands 2. I've probably got like 400 hours or something on that game. It's crazy. But I kind of grew tired of that after a while, unfortunately. But I love that game, I really do. But yeah, once they started releasing more DLC, even though I'd bought a season pass, I bought the game and the season pass, so I must have spent what, like £65 or something, or however much it is, when it first came out on that, so that I got all the DLC, and then they bring out more DLC, and I was just like, you know what? I don't think so. That kind of ruined it for me. It was just like, here, look at this cow we have. We're going to milk it. We're going to milk it until it's dry. I'm not sure why you'd wiggle your fingers. Do you wiggle your fingers? You kind of squeeze like that, don't you? I'm going to stop doing that. Yeah, milking Borderlands. Borderlands money. Yeah. Christ. What has my life become? Yeah. So that's why I'm not playing Borderlands 2 anymore. And Ultra Vault Hunter mode was really difficult when you're on your own. Well, I found it was really difficult anyway. So yeah, so sometimes you just want to shoot people and shoot stuff and blow things up and make things go kaboom. And I could wait for Call of Duty, but I'm not going to. No. Call of Duty doesn't do it for me anymore. It used to. I used to get quite excited about Call of Duty. But not anymore. I think my favourite one of Call of Duty was probably either Modern Warfare 2 or Black Ops 1. I played a ton of Modern Warfare 2. A ton of it. But I think Black Ops 1, I think I preferred like all the unlock system and stuff in Black Ops 1, where you earn like COD points, I think it was, and then you use them to purchase the camos and the attachments and emblems and whatever that you wanted. And I think that was such a good way of doing stuff, because in previous Call of Duties you'd have a gun and you'd have to use that gun, and each time that gun would level up you'd unlock a new attachment for it, like a red dot sight or a silencer or a grenade launcher or whatever, extended mags, which was fine, but you'd get really crap stuff that you don't want, like an ACOG. It's like, why on earth would I want an ACOG for my assault rifle? I'm not likely to use it, because most of the maps in Call of Duty are fairly small. There's not very many like long range situations in a Call of Duty map. Well, certainly not in ones that I can think of. I mean, I guess there was a few probably, or there might be a map or two that it could be useful on. But ACOGs, never liked them. Which is my whole point, is that it's like, why am I levelling up this weapon to get to an attachment that I don't want? It doesn't make any sense. And that's kind of a little bit of what's putting me off of Battlefield 4, because they've introduced battle packs. Now, I don't know a huge amount about the battle packs. I know that you can unlock them as you're playing the game and levelling up and stuff. But I also get the impression that you can just buy them with real money from the store, and I'm not sure I'm cool with that. That sounds a bit that sounds a bit poo, because it basically means that if you're prepared to spend a whole ton of money on battle packs, you can get all the attachments that you want straight away, and you might even get some other cool things that might alternately like take you ages to unlock. I'm not really, as I say, I'm not really 100% sure how it works, but I'm assuming that's how it works. You get random items. I think it's a bit like buying a deck of cards in Hearthstone, where you're guaranteed a certain rarity, but you don't know what it's going to be. You have no idea what's going to be in it, and I think that's what the battle packs are like. So they might contain camos, they might contain attachments, they might contain XP boosts. You don't know what's going to be in it until you've opened it. So I guess buying them could possibly make it a bit more pay to win, but I guess the random nature of the battle packs kind of means that you don't necessarily know what you're going to get. I don't know. But it looks fun, and the maps look quite interesting. And I think the map, from what I've seen, the maps in this version are a ton more interesting. Like with lots of alternate routes to get to places, and obviously because you've got vehicles, you've got ways of getting to places with vehicles, obviously like helicopters and stuff, and jets. But also with the ground vehicles and the water vehicles, you've got means to get to places that, you know, Call of Duty just doesn't have that. If you're playing, I don't know, Domination or something, or Capture the Flag, in Call of Duty, there's usually only like 2 or 3 routes that you can really take to get from point A to point B. You'll have the left hand side, the right hand side, and then through the middle, and that's generally it. There's not usually like multiple layers to a Call of Duty map. I mean, sometimes there is, but more often than not, that's basically how it works. But because these maps on Battlefield are so much bigger, and because they have vehicles, it means getting from A to B, you could go this way, you could go that way, you can go up here and across here and then off the top of this building and down, or you could go around here, or you could just get a vehicle and fly over, and it's just like, you know, there's so much more to it. I just think that's going to be more interesting to me. I think it will mean that the game's longevity will be better for me. Because the last few COD games, I've played Modern Warfare 2, right? I think I prestiged like 5 times or something before I started to get bored. Black Ops 1, I think it was 3 times, and then after that it was like once or twice, and then I was just like, meh. In fact, in Black Ops 2, I don't think I prestiged once in Black Ops 2. Actually, no, I think I did, but then the lag compensation just destroyed the game for me. So that was another reason why I'm not really that interested in playing Call of Duty. Because if the lag compensation is still there, then there's absolutely no point. Because it just kills the game. It's like when I was playing Modern Warfare 2, if you didn't have a good internet connection, chances are you were going to die a lot. Because people that did have a good internet connection could run around and just shoot everyone, and if you didn't have a good internet connection, then you were at a disadvantage. Which kind of makes sense. Whether it's fair or not is irrelevant. It kind of makes sense, you know. If you've got a fast machine that can run the game at 60 frames per second or higher, and you've got a fast internet connection, when you're playing a game that revolves around reflex and response, then, you know, the faster machine with the faster internet connection should mean that you have a slight advantage over someone who has a slow machine or a slow internet connection. That's just, you know, that's just how it works. But then you get into Black Ops 2, and I've got a machine that can run it at 60 frames per second or higher, depending on what graphics settings I have it on. I've got a fast internet connection, yet with lag compensation, which apparently doesn't exist. The people with lower internet connections, like the slower speeds, actually had an advantage, because they would slow everyone else down so that they would meet up with the person with the lowest, the slowest speed, which is like, what? So you're essentially playing in slow motion a lot of the time. And there was countless, I can't remember what map it was, but there was a map that I remember playing on, and there was a guy, he'd come out of the building, and he was kind of stood on the perched on the roof part, just outside this window of a building. And I literally emptied my clip of my assault rifle into him. I had all the hit markers, and I just come up, and the noise that it makes when you get a hit marker. My entire clip into him, right? I died. And he lived. Because of lag compensation. Because where I was shooting, and where I was seeing him, and where I was getting the hit markers, he wasn't actually there. He was actually just slightly over here. It's like, what? And that's why lag compensation sucks. And there was plenty of evidence going around about it, and I don't think they ever fixed it. Or if they did, by the time they did, I had completely lost interest in the whole thing and stopped playing. Which is why I didn't bother buying any DLC. Because there was absolutely no point. So yeah. Okay, I've talked about games for far too long. I didn't expect to go on for quite this long. Okay, movies is going to be short and sweet because there was only 2 movies that I saw this week. The first one I saw this week, which I've seen many times already, and it won't be any surprise, Avengers Assemble. Or, as it should have been called, The Marvel's Avengers. Because Avengers Assemble sounds stupid. But what can you do? Yes, I watched this on Wednesday. This is one of my favourite movies of the last few years, and I've watched it about 8 or 9 times. When it first came out, I think I went to the cinema to see it twice, and then when it came out on DVD, I think I watched it about 4 times or something in the first week. I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Because it's Marvel, and it's superheroes, and it's cool. But the main reason I watched that was because on the Thursday, or Thor's Day, I went to see Thor: The Dark World. I was originally, you're going to be like, if you watched last week's Sunday with Sparky, you're going to be like, what happened to Captain Phillips? I'm like, funny you should say that. Originally, we were going to go to the cinema on Tuesday to see Captain Phillips. But things out of my control meant that I couldn't go on Tuesday. So the next time I could go was Thursday. So I was like, what time is Captain Phillips going to be on? Checking it on my phone and on the app thing. And I was just looking at the times of all the movies, and I was like, oh my god, Thor is out, we must go and see Thor. So we went to see Thor instead. And yeah, it was brilliant. It was really good. Much better than the first one, I think. And it's weird. It's really weird. Like, Loki's been the bad guy in 2 movies. And yet, you still cheer for him. It's like, yay, it's Loki. It's like, should I be doing that, really? He's supposed to be the bad guy. You can't not help but like him. Or you can't help but like him. Yeah. I don't know. You can't help but like him. It's Loki, the god of mischief and magic and stuff. And yeah, you should go and see it if you like. If you liked Avengers or the other Thor film, then you should go see it because it's great, and Natalie Portman's in it and she's beautiful, and Kat Dennings is in it and she's beautiful, and everyone's beautiful. Chris Hemsworth is beautiful. He's a beautiful man. And if you like Chris Hemsworth in that way, there is a fairly long shot of him in just his trousers. Got his top off and everything. If you like that sort of thing. I couldn't care less really, but if you like that sort of thing. I know some of the girls like that sort of thing, don't they? Hey, I know what you like. Well, that sounds really creepy. Oh God, I'm sorry. Okay, I've talked far too long. If you Christ, if you are a new subscriber, again, I welcome you and thank you. And not everything will be as weird as what this has been like. Yeah, and I shall see you all again next Sunday. So stay tuned, stay subscribed, or you could stay subscribed. That's an option too. I'm not sure about the first one. You might just want to ignore it. And I shall see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.